Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So today was a really good day. Love seeing the miners pumping with Bitcoin being down just a little bit today. Nonetheless, I mean, we'll take it, right? Why were the miners pumping? Well, Nibius, I think that's how it's pronounced. Nibius came out with great results. Well, not really great results. They came out with a great update. They got a deal with Microsoft yesterday. That was pumping, obviously, the miners here today. Bitfarms was up over 24%. Hive was up nicely. Not Hive. Hive was up nicely. IREN, Cypher, Hut 8, and Wolf were all up nicely today. Double-digit gains there. So that was looking really good for us. The miners are getting repriced on their potential for HPC AI here. Bitfarms being up over 24%. I think it's because of their Pennsylvania site, or a couple Pennsylvania sites they have there. I think that might be why that one kind of pumped up really hard today. But we don't know for a fact, but I think that's the only reason why it would do that. So we'll look at obviously what happened with the miners, Bitcoin today as well. We'll take a quick look at Nibius as far as what they have. It's just through, I did an AI query on them. We'll take a look at that really quick as well. A little bit on the story as far as Microsoft deal there as well. And then we'll get into CORZ Scientific. CORZ Scientific provided us with their, well, they didn't provide it. I actually pulled it from their X post, right? Because they provide daily production updates. So we were using that for their August production numbers. And then we'll also take a look at something that I've started to do is build I wouldn't call it a database. I would call it more like I don't know what you would call it, a map legend for all the sites from all the miners here. I've gotten 4 miners already inputted there. I've got Bitfarms, Cypher, Cleanspark, and IREN inputted into it. And we can see all their locations with the megawatts that they have available as well. I made that available to the Patreon members already in a post on Patreon or on Discord actually. So that's available to you guys, and I'm looking for feedback as far as are my megawatts correct, are my locations correct. A lot of the sites don't have addresses, so it's kind of hard, so we are using basically the cities for that. But we'll get into all that and get into Q&A as well. So I love these days. I'm happy that you guys are loving these days as well. But we got to go through this. We got to go through the financials. We got to go through the legal details here. As always, not financial advice. For entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what happened here with Bitcoin today. And why is my mouse not cooperating with me today? All right, there we go. So Bitcoin today was down a little bit here, right? We talked about yesterday with Bitcoin kind of having a challenge with the 100 SMA here. And we did bounce again above it today. We got to a high of 113,292. And then we fell below the 100 SMA here, which is this line right there, right? It's following there. And Bitcoin came down approximately 0.47%, so not a big drop there, but it was a drop nonetheless, and we're down a little bit here on the new day, but we did close at 111,549.32 cents on it. Markets overall were in the green here, so I mean, is Bitcoin just waiting for the Fed to lower rates and then it's going to pump? Maybe. So we still might have another week or so before we get a nice pump out of Bitcoin here, which then would also help the miners there. Ethereum today was actually up a little bit. I mean, it's basically flat over the last 4 days or so. You can see it here was up just a little bit, 0.09%. It was up also 0.01% yesterday. It's up a little bit now, 0.21%. So that thing is flat as well. Bitcoin's more or less flat as well. It's battling with the 100 SMA. I want to see that get above it, close above it, and stay above it for a little bit. And then I think we're going to be going up here. So maybe with the Fed rates coming in, we'll get that happening for us next week. But right now, it's definitely being, I think, manipulated is the proper term to use there for it. Miners, oh my gosh, miners had, like I said, a fantastic day here. Bitfarms, look at that candle. That is a lovely, lovely candle that we are seeing there on Bitfarms. 24.22% being up. I'm finally back to being in the green on Bitfarms. My average is like $1.51 here. It closed at $1.59 here. So I'm up like 2% or something like that, but it's been a rough ride with Bitfarms here this past year, basically ever since the beginning of the year. It has not done well, but it is doing much better here recently, or at least today was a good day for it, right? So like I talked about in the beginning, I think the reason they got repriced here is because of their Pennsylvania sites they do have there and the megawatts potential there to build out HPC AI. And the reason for that is the Pennsylvania site is really close to a metropolitan area that has like over 30 million people in that geographic area. So that might be a reason for it. Next here, BitDeer was up 9.06% there. That one did also pretty good here. He touched the 200 SMA, went above it a little bit, and then it got rejected and closed actually just slightly below it. So it might be battling with that here going forward here. Kango was down 11.82%. There's a reason for it. US congressman or senator, I can't remember which one it is asking for, who's the person there? Not Lutnick, the other person that's in charge there. Oh, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But they're asking them to take a look into Kango and Bitmain operations here in the United States. That is the reason why the stock there fell quite hard there. So, again, that's a caution for everybody here, right? Is whenever you're looking to possibly get into any company that I think has any ties with mainland China, be wary of that because, right, the U.S. is not really happy with China right now, and they are definitely going to be going on the attack, I think, on anything that might have anything to do with China. So be careful on those, right? We know Kango just went basically became a Bitcoin miner in December of last year. They bought up a bunch of the ASICs that Bitmain had all over the world. They are 50 exahash. They are asset light. They did buy a site in, was it Georgia? I think it was 50 megawatt site recently here. So they're trying to become a little bit less asset light. But again, right? Do they have those Chinese ties there? I don't know. Maybe there is something to it. Maybe there isn't. But just something to be wary of. Okay. Cypher was up huge today also, 19.43%. This one reached a new 52-week high here as well. It has done really, really, really well. I mean, ever since the April lows here, it's done a fantastic job. Cleanspark was up nicely as well, 5.45%. Not as much as some of the other miners that have HPCI potential here, but it is up nonetheless. We're still a long ways from where it probably really should be priced in at, somewhere closer to probably $20. It's still way under. And we did have Matt Schultz at the H.C. Wainwright talk about their operations and how they are looking to diversify their operations mix, Bitcoin mining and HPCI as well. We do have a X post, I guess, from Ernest on that. He saw that during the stream there. CORZ was up 4.31%. Hive was up 15% there. Had a nice bounce here after being down 4 days in a row. HUT 8 was up almost 15%. This is, it's getting close to where, let's see, where was it prior 52-week high? Back in December, so they're getting close to their 52-week highs as well. IREN had a great day also, 15.27%. That one reached a new 52-week high also. Mara was up just a little bit, 4.8%. Riot was up 13.17%. Wolf was up 11.96%. So you're seeing that kind of difference here between the miners that are looking to get into HPC-AI or have potential there, and the miners that don't, like Mara and CleanSpark right now. Right, those two have been historically pure play miners. And you can see those guys being under, 5% or less than 10%, double-digit gains, I guess. And the other ones, almost pretty much everybody here had double-digit gains except for CORZ. CORZ is getting bought out by CORZ Scientific there, or not Core Weave. Jeez, too many cores in here. So something to think about there. Galaxy also, right? Got a huge boost here, up 10.13% because they own, obviously, Helios. Helios could be built out, tremendously more. And that one got bumped on that because they do have a deal with Core Weave. MicroStrategy was down just a little bit, 0.42%. Block was down as well, close to that, 0.41%. Coin was up 5.49%. Metaplan was up 3.75%. Exodus was up 1.71%. Nexon was down 0.41%. Similar was down 0.78%. Phoenix was down 5.19%. GameStop was up 1.59%. Small miners did pretty good as well. DigiPower was up quite a bit, 14.93%. Mawson was also up nicely, 12.75%. I think Mawson went up because I think they also have sites in Pennsylvania, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that might be the case for them. Maybe that's why they pumped a little bit there. The ETFs for the miners, they had a really good day today. BitQ was up 6.71%. BKCH up 9.5%. DAP was up 7.85%. And WGMI was up 11.59%. This might be a 52-week high on this one, if not the all-time high here on it, since it went, it's reached a new all-time high. I got into that one back in January of 2023, pretty much at the bottom of Bitcoin miners. This thing is the best performing asset that I have. It is in my retirement account, and that is going to leave me with a nice retirement package when this is all said and done here. I'm still expecting it to go up much, much higher from where it is right now. So I'm loving that action there. It's actually outperformed what I have in IREN as well. As far as the Ethereum holding companies here, BMNR was up just a little bit, 1.85. BitDigital was up 8.63% today. And that one still has a ways to go from the high where it got to 449. BTCS was up a little bit, 0.48%. GameStop, sorry, was up 1.97%, and SBET was up 6.51%. And then if we look at Wi-Fi, or American BTC was up also nicely, 11.63%. Wi-Fi, which is white fiber from Bit Digital, was up nicely, almost 15% there. Oracle is up a little bit after hours, or did go up a little bit here, 1.27%. And NVIDIA and Nibius was up 49.42%, which obviously pumped the rest of the miners here today on that news from Microsoft. We'll get into that in a second here. Miners in the after hours right now, as we look at that, we got Bitdeer being up just a little bit, 0.36%. Bitfarms being up 2.51%, and nice increase there as well. Cypher is up another, where is it at? 4.56%. So that's having a nice day there after hours. Cleanspark is flat right now. CORZ Scientific is up 2.41%. Hive is up 1.67%. Hut 8 is up now, down 0.92%. IREN is up where does it end at? 3.61%. Mara Holdings is, let it catch up, 0.31%. And then Riot is up 0.72%. And finally, TeraWolf, last one there, is up 5.83% so far, at least. It's been pretty volatile here in the after hours as it is. Okay, going over here, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 2.79% in September right now. Right, it is what it is with Bitcoin. Like I said, it's being manipulated by the big guys here. Unfortunately, we are at their mercy. But I do believe Bitcoin's going to be going up here after we get the rate cuts, if not even before that. It might front run it a little bit. We'll see. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. We did have some outflows happening here right now. We are waiting for IBIT to report, which is BlackRock. But overall, we're down 146 million here. So outflows have been happening here today. But we'll see where BlackRock comes in. The Fed watch here right now is still targeting 93.7% of a decrease of about 25 basis points from where we are right now. And then here is the Cleanspark from Ernest Hamilton. Ernest wrote, "Well, folks, speculation is over. Matthew Schultz just announced a blended approach between BTC mining and HPC data centers in Georgia for Cleanspark. Excited for the forward guidance and any timelines team." Right, so that's awesome to see. Hopefully they can do something with that, because being close to Georgia, or in Georgia, and being close to Atlanta, there is definitely a huge metropolitan area over there as well that might be a good location for them. Next here, Nibius signs a 17.4 billion AI infrastructure deal with Microsoft. Shares jump on that. We talked about that. It was over 40 some odd percent. That helped out the other miners as well. As far as what does Nibius have here? Well, based on at least Gemini here, Gemini wrote, based on the latest available information, Nibius has a growing network of data centers with significant megawatt capacity. Here is a summary of their key sites and their associated power capacities. So they do have a New Jersey, USA site in Vineland, New Jersey, with a design capacity of up to 300 megawatts. The first phase is expected to be completed in mid-2025 with an initial capacity of around 100 megawatts. Then they have a Kansas City, Missouri, USA. They launched its first U.S. GPU cluster here. The initial phase started at 5 megawatts and is expected to scale up to 40 megawatts at full capacity. So smaller sites, right? And then this one is in Finland. It's tripling the capacity of its existing data center to 75 megawatts there. Another one is in Iceland. A new co-location deployment here with 10 megawatt compute cluster. This site leverages Iceland's geothermal energy. Paris, France has a GPU cluster at Equinox Data Center in Paris. The specific megawatt capacity is not publicly stated, but the company is also constructing 2 new data centers in France there. And then they have one in United Kingdom as well. Long-term agreement with ARC Data Centers to deploy a GPU cluster at Longcross Park campus. In total, Nibius has announced plans to rapidly build out its infrastructure, aiming for a total of capacity of several hundred megawatts in the near term, with a long-term goal of reaching 1 gigawatt by 2026, if demand warrants it. The company is focused on building AI infrastructure to support the high-growth global AI industry. So they're not the only ones. We have other players in this as well that are trying to capture that. We got Cypher, we got IREN, we got Hut 8, we got Riot, we got Bitfarms, we got TeraWolf. Who else is trying to capture that out of the bunch there? Bitdeer as well, Hive as well. Everybody and their uncle is trying to get into this HBI space right now, and it is obviously propelling these stocks much higher here. So with that being said, like I said in the beginning here, I started to create a map and the locations, and basically where at least 4 of them miners that I'm tracking, at least right now, I have the data for. The data is not 100% accurate, and here's the data as it looks right now in Google Maps. But we do have IREN, we do have Cypher, Cleanspark in there included. I'm going to include the rest of them as well as time goes on, but this is all I was able to do in the beginning here for today. And we'll kind of go through this a little bit here with these guys here. Bitfarms has quite a few locations there. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on any of these things. This is all the data I was able to pull out of from the companies, from their quarterly results. I used AI to help me out with it as well. I think this is pretty accurate here, but it might be off by a little bit here, right? So Bitfarms, you can see that they have locations in Pennsylvania, up in Canada as well, up here, and in Washington. So we got Baycombe, which has 22 megawatts. Sherbrooke, they have like 3 sites at Sherbrooke. Bunker, which is 48 megawatts. Garlock, which is 18 megawatts. Ledger, which is 30 megawatts there. And that's all on the Canadian side here. Cowanville, where's that one? That's also in Canadian side as well. That one is 17 megawatts. St. Hyacin, that's also on the Canadian side of things. That one's 15 megawatts on that one. Magog, that's also there in Canada. That is 10 megawatts. We got Farnham, which is 10 megawatts also. That's in Canada. I mean, they got a bunch of sites there in Canada as it is. What else do we have here? Scrubgrass. Okay, so this is in Pennsylvania here. We got Scrubgrass, which is right there. And then we have also this one here, which is Sharon, which is 120 megawatts. And Scrubgrass is actually right now 62.5 megawatts, but they are talking about growing that out. And then you also have here in Pennsylvania, Panther Creek, which is 80 megawatts. And that one is actually the one that is really close to New York City there. Newark and New York as well. It's probably within, what, I would say 50 to 100 miles, roughly, from what I can gather here, roughly. So that's actually a pretty good location for that. And you got a huge metropolitan area here, right? Philadelphia, New Jersey, all that. You got like over 30 million people just in this vicinity here right now. So that location is actually pretty interesting. I know we saw obviously TeraWulf. I need to put TeraWulf in here as well, as far as where their locations are at in comparison to Bitfarms, to see if they're even closer potentially to New York. And is that why they were chosen instead of maybe Bitfarms? But Bitfarms is saying, right, 2026, 2027 potentially for them, when they can possibly have some of these sites up and running with HPCI there. Okay, so keep that in mind there. What else do we have here? And then we got Sharon, and then where's the one in the one that's in Washington? Washington is over here. This one is also 17.5 megawatts, so a smaller site. But I mean, as you're seeing, Nibius is getting these contracts with Microsoft at least. We don't know which site that's for, but they have also smaller sites, and they're able to attract large hyperscalers to do deals with them. So based on that, I think Bitfarms does have a pretty good chance there as well. Next here, IREN here. IREN has Childress, which is 750 megawatts, right? This is an operational site with a total capacity of 750 megawatts. A 50 megawatt liquid cooled data center called Horizon 1 is under construction at this site, is expected to be commissioned by late 2025, right? We know that already. We got Sweetwater 1 and 2, which is 1.4 gigawatts and 600 megawatts. Those are going to be 2026 and 2027 there. And then we have 3 locations here in Canada as well for them. If we zoom out, we can see that they are way up here. British Columbia, Prince George is 50 megawatts, Mackenzie is 80 megawatts, and Canal Flats is 30 megawatts. And then we have Cypher here. Cypher has, 6 sites here, and it looks like they're all in Texas. They got Odessa, Black Pearl, LaSalle, Rizal, Singleton, and Dole, it looks like. Rizal, Singleton, and Dole are all 500 megawatt development sites that they're working on. Those are going to be probably 2026, 2027, I'm guessing, somewhere around there. But we do have, obviously, Odessa, which is 207 megawatts. We have Black Pearl, 300 megawatts, and LaSalle, which is 100 megawatts there. And they are all, like, in the center of Texas here. You can see all these sites here. We have Fort Worth, Dallas area, not too far from this one, which one's this one? Rizal, which is 500 megawatts, which is one of the ones that's in development there. You got the other site here, which is also Singleton, 500 megawatts. That's a development site. And then you got, this one's a 500 megawatt site. So those are all pretty close to Dallas here. The other 2 sites that they have, which is Black Pearl, 300 megawatts, is on the far west end of Texas. What do we have close to that? We got New Mexico. We got, Albuquerque, I guess. Nothing really large around San Antonio, I guess, would be the closest potentially to that one. And then we also have this site here, which is the Odessa site, 207 megawatts. That's pretty close to the Black Pearl site as it is right now. So Cypher is highly leveraged in Texas here. And then this site down here, LaSalle, which is 100 megawatts, is maybe close to San Antonio and Houston even. So that one's kind of nice area there. These site, which is Singleton, 500 megawatt site, is also really close to Houston. So that might be actually a pretty good site there for them. Going down here to Cleanspark. Cleanspark has sites all over the place here. I wasn't able to find some of the information for some of the sites as far as what the megawatts are based on AI at least. I would have to probably go back to their fiscal year-end reports on it to see where they are megawatt-wise on some of these things, but they have a lot, right? So if we look at Cleanspark here, they're mostly in the Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky area, Mississippi, and Wyoming area. Wyoming is the smallest site. That one is 75 megawatts. Then we have, obviously, let's see here, Mississippi site. Let's see, Clinton, Mississippi is 60.5 megawatts. Multiple sites near Clinton, Mississippi at a recent acquisition brought 2 sites with combined capacity of 16.5 megawatts. This brought the company's total data center portfolio in Mississippi to 60.5. So we have that. And then we got, obviously, let's see here. We got a couple in Atlanta here, sites. We got this one, which is College Park, which is 47 megawatts near Atlanta. I mean, that's really close to Atlanta there. And then we also have Norcross, which is 20 megawatts, still pretty close to Atlanta. So that Atlanta area is going to have a lot of population there. We got this site here, which is Lafayette. We don't know what the megawatts are there. We also have Dalton. Dalton, I thought was like 20 megawatts. I could be wrong on that, but for some reason, I'm not sure. Dalton has 2 locations, both with unspecified megawatts. You can probably find that out. Then you got Washington in Georgia as well, which is 36 megawatts. Sandersville, which is 80 megawatts. Twin Cities, which is 5.9 kilowatts only, so that's a much smaller site. Vidalia is 60 megawatts, I think. One of these, I would imagine Twin Cities is going to be probably built out. Then when you get into Tennessee, you got Lenore City, which is pretty close to Knoxville. And, I mean, it's kind of a little bit far. I don't know what the distance is going to be from Nashville. I'm guessing maybe 100 miles or something like that. Maybe something like that. Not sure. But it's pretty close to Knoxville there. They do have one in Knoxville, obviously 85 megawatts. They have one here in Winfield, which I don't know what the megawatts is there. Jellicoe as well, unknown, and New Tazewell. And then we got one on the far end side here, Mountain City, which is 30 megawatts planned at least on that one. So there's all their sites, all pretty grouped in this area in the southeast, you could say, right? There is some population there, obviously. Dallas, I think, has more population than what you have around here. I got to look into that. But overall, we're going to finish this up with the other miners. We're going to put BitDeer in there. We're going to put, obviously, Hut 8, Hive, all these guys in here as time progresses. And this will give us a good picture as far as where the megawatts are located for these guys and who could actually maybe get a deal, right? That's the whole plan of this, is to figure out who's going to be in a good position to get a deal right now. Within the next, hopefully, 3 to 6 months or something like that on it. So, but that'll at least give us an idea where all these sites are at. So I just want to point that out to you guys here. That's going to be available to the Patreon members. They already got access to this already. And you guys might be able, you might be able to find access to this another way, maybe. But that's it on that one. Let's get into CORZ Scientific here. CORZ Scientific, like I said, with their posts on X, they post their daily production. I use the last figures that they provided for August as far as BTC mined here. And I also tried to figure out what they have as far as hash rate currently, which is, I believe, like 17.6 exahash. So it has come down even more here recently. On that one, we'll kind of look at this one. They are being bought out by CoreWeave. So, I mean, the stock is where it's at right now, and it's based on where the stock of CoreWeave is, because it's basically tied to it right now. But here's what we do have. So shares outstanding is 305 million. Price of the stock is 14.53. Market cap 4.4 billion. Right? It should have been closer to probably 9 billion, I think, is what we were targeting with the buyout there. Stock has been kind of more or less flat over the last 12 weeks. It's only up 14.6% from 12 weeks ago, up 2% from 8 weeks ago, down 3.6% from 4 weeks ago. And then last week it was down 5.09%. Bitcoin production here, you can see, has been continuing to decrease as time progresses, as the network hash rate for Bitcoin increases. They're generating less and less Bitcoin, plus their own hash rate has been decreasing as well. Revenue has been also decreasing here. They're at 18.95 million roughly in revenue for Bitcoin mining. Their big revenue generator is going to be HPC AI. If they get bought out by CoreWeave, that's going to be for them. But you can see hash rate has been coming down as well. Bitcoin, I don't know what they hold. They don't report that anymore, so that's kind of a moot point there. Bitcoin efficiency, BTC per exahash, 9.36. That's actually pretty low. It's probably going to be the lowest that I have here among the miners there. Bitcoin sold value, we don't know what that is. We do have institutions and analyst ratings, though. That has jumped up to 485 institutions with 301 million shares owned by institutions, which is pointing out to be like 99.26% of the company owned by institutions right now as it is. There's still 7 strong buy ratings, 1 buy rating, 10 hold ratings. Price target $23 for the high, $19.05 for the average, and $15 for the low. We are below that right now. We're at $14.53. And all those things. For the month of August here, I had them mining for approximately 19.2 days, even with 17.6 exahash. So we might be actually lower than that in general. They might be like at 13, 14 exahash, if not maybe even lower than that right now, operational, as they move stuff around and build out for HPCI for CoreWeave. Based on all these numbers and the future potential for HPCI revenue, I have them between 1172 and 1759. They're kind of in the middle of that, right? Like I said, I think they should be probably closer to like $19, $20 with the buyout happening from CoreWeave as it is right now. So that is it. I may eventually stop reporting on CORZ Scientific. Well, I will stop reporting on CORZ Scientific when they do get bought out here sometime in Q4, if that goes through. So we'll see on that one. But that is it. Spreadsheet and all this stuff is available to my Patreon members. They also have access to our private Discord server as well. Link for that is down in the description if you want to join. That's my only sales pitch. You guys are the support of me doing this. So I greatly appreciate you guys there, along with you YouTube members as well. Greatly appreciate you guys also. All right, I need to take a sip of my water because my throat's going to get dry. Okay, let's get into Q&A, and we'll call it a day here. It's been a fantastic day nonetheless. As always, with questions, if you could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And as always, I do scroll up on all the questions, comments, and everything else, and we will work our way down. So it might take me a little while here. So be patient. I will get through all this stuff here eventually. All right. Razgul, question. Riot jump very good. What it will go up or pull back? You know, people are getting, maybe, I don't know if it's smart. I think people are just coming on board with this whole megawatts availability and HPCI potential. The miners here that have HPCI potential are getting repriced. We could possibly come down a little bit. They had a nice run up here today. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit of pullback. People taking profits. That usually happens there. Let's see, question. Do you think miners' time is near? It's already happening, I think, for a lot of these guys here. They're getting repriced on the HPCI potential. Bitcoin going up would also help tremendously for a lot of these guys here. Right, especially like Cleanspark, the pure play miners historically, Cleanspark, Mara, those guys would probably do very well at that point. Let's see here. Victor C. Question here. You mentioned Cleanspark is going to diversify. Please specify. Yeah, so in the H.C. Wainwright conference that Matt attended, he said that the Georgia, I'm guessing probably the Atlanta sites that are nearby, they do have the megawatts available to possibly transition those into HPCI compute centers or data centers, whatever you want to call it. So there is a possibility there. We talked about the 2 sites that they have near Georgia as it is. Those sites are, let's see, near Atlanta we got College Park, which is 47 megawatts, and we have Norcross, which is 20 megawatts. So you could do something with that, right? I mean, you're seeing IREN getting huge repricing and potential for an HPCI deal because they've been building out these kind of smaller sites in Canada and also building out a 50 megawatt data site in, not Corsicana. Corsicana, I think, is it Corsicana? Gosh, there's too many names of these companies here. Let's see here. It is not Sweetwater. It is Childress. They're building out a 50 megawatt liquid cooled data center at Childress. So there is potential, possibly, right? The big question is, do they have enough space on the sites there to put in liquid cooling, right? Chillers, basically, for those things, for those setups. Which I think they might. I mean, those things usually don't require that much. And then also, do you have room to put in possibly backup generators there as well. So those are some questions there. If they can answer those questions there, it might be a possibility for them at that point. Okay, talked about that. Sadie, thank you so much for coming in daily here and putting out the likes reminder there. I appreciate it. MJS says even DeadSpark couldn't go down. These guys are getting repriced, right? And Cleanspark is looking to get into HPCI as well. Sorry, Melon, DeadSpark, LOL. Okay, Michael asks, which one that starts with B is the other letters? Are you talking about Bitfarms there? All right, Neville says, I'm convinced that Besant punched Elon Musk after hearing reports he wanted to fight someone else. Did you hear that transcript? Besant is really about that life. That I have not heard that. That is interesting. But Besant was the one I was thinking of, that a senator or congressman reached out to have them investigated for, I don't know, whether wrongdoings to the United States or whatever because of Kango and Bitmain there. Dan, top price predictions for IREN BitDigital for end of year 2025. BitDigital, I don't know. I mean, BitDigital has gone away from Bitcoin mining. They are just a pure hodl on Ethereum right now, basically a treasure company there. IREN, I could see IREN getting to, $40, $50, $60 by the end of the year. If they announce some things, I mean, they're going to have definitely a lot more revenue coming in from their own cloud stack for customers. They're looking at, 200 to 250 million next year run rate. So that's going to drive it as well. And then if they get an HPCI deal with somebody, that possibly might drive it up even more. I mean, we're seeing people talking about IREN getting to $100 a share to possibly like $200 a share. If any of those things happen, I'm going to be like a pig in a mud bath. I'm going to be loving that. Right? I think everybody else is going to be loving that as well. All right. Cass asks, why did Bitcoin go down and Bitcoin farming companies went up? The reason for that, Bitcoin's been battling with the 100 SMA here for a number of days now. But the miners went up, especially the ones that have HPCI potential, ran up because of Nibius. Nibius got a great deal with Microsoft there for 17 billion roughly. So that's why those things have pumped. Cass asks also, why did Bitfarms went up like this when a new site was announced? Why now? Again, repricing, right? The site that they have 3 sites in Pennsylvania. One site is pretty close to the large metropolitan area of Newark as well. You have approximately like a 30 million population there roughly in that area, in the metropolitan area there. So I think that might be why. Neville asks or says, can anyone tell me why people are hopeful Riot may get a deal? From my understanding, they have not made any significant moves towards sealing one. IREN said it had to work hard before getting theirs. Well, IREN's got customers for their own cloud offering, right? So they already have that. Cypher was close to getting a deal with, I believe it was OpenAI, but for whatever reason, that deal fell through. And then Riot, I'm not sure. I mean, they're all going up because you really don't know who's going to get a deal first, right? It could be Cypher, it could be IREN, it could be Riot. It could be also Bitfarms that gets a deal before everybody else. You really don't know. So people are just, trying to position their chess pieces, I guess, as best they can and hedge a little bit on all this stuff, which isn't a bad idea because you really don't know who's going to get a deal there first. MJS says, yeah, I read about Besant wanting to fight the housing official. I did not hear that. Okay. Daryl says, question, would you still currently sell Mara to buy Cypher even after today's pop? So the big question is, right, HPCI deal. If they can get an HPCI deal, I think the stock will pop even more. So I sold Mara, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago now, I can't remember. But I sold Mara and I sold also Rivian at that point, and I bought more Cypher and I bought more Bitfarms at that point. Probably, that worked out pretty well for me here. So this can be your call, but I think there is still good potential here for Cypher going forward. Okay, Michael asks, what made these go up so much that Tom Lee is pumping them? Which ones? Which ones is he pumping now? I didn't hear him pumping like the miners. I know he's pumping obviously Ethereum there and BMNR. Not Pedro Pascal. I made it. Nice. Thanks for coming in. All right, Michael Anthony asks, can you put that back on Cleanspark News? Can you put that back on Cleanspark News? The one about them, let me see here. From Ernest, this one over here. I think this is the one you were asking about. Here it is. You can see that one there. That was from Ernest. Go and take a look at it. There is an audio clip for it. The audio is not very loud, so I'm not going to play it here because I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it there. But it's like, what is it, 20-some seconds? Yeah, 29 seconds roughly. Check out Ernest, and he has that, obviously, in his timeline for it. Okay. Sorry, Melon says ABTC is a scam. Time will tell if that is going to be the case. Let's see. Dan says pump our bags, pump our bags. Let's see. MJS. How is DeadSpark going to finance the Georgia infrastructure build out for their AI ambitions? Stock dilution, probably too late. Not necessarily stock dilution. I mean, they are cash flow positive on Bitcoin mining. Plus, they have, what is it, like $1.5 billion in Bitcoin treasury as it is right now. So they have ways and means to do it. They could secure loans through Bitcoin, or, you know, they have optionality there. It's not something that they have to dilute right away. MT says, IREN has saved my butt. Not Pedro Pascal. Okay, here we go. Kaz says Bitfarms sites look pretty accurate. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys see any kind of disparities on the sites, let me know. I'll definitely update it. If you can provide me also with like the information where you got it from, that would be a big help. John Kurt says Oracle's earnings results were phenomenal. AI is only in the second inning of the incredible earnings growth going forward, with several years of great gains coming. Yep, this time is different. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. I heard that their earnings were maybe not that great, but they gave great guidance going forward. So I think that's what's maybe doing well there. Let's see. Saying, I'm going to butcher your name. I'm going to call you Kumar. I can't pronounce the first part of your name. I apologize. Hi, Seb. Congratulations for today. Just wondering why Cleanspark is not soaring like other miners. I feel like I am holding Cleanspark for a while now, and it's a bit frustrating now. I've been holding it since 2023, so I get the feeling there. I still have faith in the team there, in Matt and company included. And with them looking into HPCI as well, I think good things are ahead of us. Bitcoin going up also should be a good thing for us. So we'll see. I'm still holding on to it. You know, maybe that was the wrong thing to do, but I still have some faith there. All right. Now, Pedro Pascal says urban areas are great, right? Yes, they are. Power to the people. Yeah, I mean, you want to be in areas that have high metropolitan populations, right? So like the New York area, that has a lot. You got Chicago area, you got the Georgia area as well. You got the Texas area, you got California as well. Those have a lot of large populations. That's kind of where you want to be, more or less, I think. All right, SKS, can Cypher follow IREN to $30? If they get an HPCI deal, I think it's possible. All right. All right, I just want to ask, what shares are left for Riot dumping Bitfarms? The last report we got from them was 4.6%, but with them being under 5%, they don't have to report going forward as far as how many shares they have left. So we won't know when they are completely sold out of Bitfarms there, but I'm guessing it's probably close right now, or we're getting very close at least. All right. SK says, question, Cypher has 2.8 gigawatts in pipeline, which is almost equal to IREN's plan. Will it make more sense to be invested in Cypher rather than IREN at this point? I guess it would be dependent on the timeline of that 2.8 gigawatts, right? Looking at Cypher here. If we look at Cypher, where's my little map here on Cypher? Let's pull this up. All right, we'll get rid of Cleanspark, we'll get rid of IREN, we'll get rid of Bitfarms on the map here. We got Cypher. So they have Odessa, which is already operational. Black Pearl is also operational right now. And I think maybe LaSalle might be operational here. Do we have any notes on that one? I don't have any notes on it for that one. But that one's over by San Antonio and Houston. That one looks pretty good. Rizal, which is a 500 megawatt site. That one is Fort Worth, Dallas area. Looks like not too far away, so that might be a good site also. And then we have Singleton, which is a little bit further away from Rosal, whatever it's called, Rizzle. And Dole is kind of center of the state. So you got Abilene there, you got Fort Worth, Dallas. It's quite a ways away. Austin, maybe San Antonio. So they do have sites, obviously, that are there. It's just when will they be built out? When will they get energized, more or less? Is it in 2026? Is it 2027? Or is it in 2028? That's the unknown right now, that I don't know when those will get. But they do obviously have a lot of megawatts potential, kind of like Cypher or like IREN. IREN also has a pipeline of megawatts. They're keeping that close to the chest there. As they get, contract signed or something like that, they might report on it. But we do have a lot here that is in already in Texas, right? We got IREN, we got Cypher, we got Riot. Mara is also quite largely in Texas as well. So there's definitely some competition there. It's just going to depend on the sites and how close are the sites to the other names. That might be a determining factor there, right? So I don't know. The thing that I like about IREN is that IREN is doing this on their own right now, at least building out their own data centers and putting their own GPUs in it and going that way. And then if they get a great deal for something that they already have, like for Sweetwater 1 or Sweetwater 2 or something like that, they can do that as well. So it's, I don't know. It's going to be a tough call on that one as far as which one's going to do best on it going forward here. Mike, do you think institutions will let Cleanspark and Mara run sharply in the next 2 months, shaking out the retail first? Possibly. Bitcoin needs to go up in that case, and with like Cleanspark's stance, they need to provide some information on their HPCI potential, right? Which sites would make good HPI sites? When could they possibly get those transitioned to that? How much would it cost? Details. We need details on these things right now. And we are not seeing that, at least not right now, but it's still early. All right. XVEX says, beware of the pullback. Take profit where it makes sense to you, especially stocks who are near or past having highs. Yeah, there's no shame in taking profits, right? So I always say that. I'm going to be a little bit more, I guess, piggish and hold on for a little bit longer here. You know, these profits are not going to be, well, they are in a sense life-changing, but it's not going to change my life in a way that is going to hugely improve it. I could probably pay off some debt that I have from school and some cars, things like that. But other than that, I'd rather just keep it in there and have it go up a little bit more here potentially. But that's just me. Do not follow my own lead there. All right. Starman, who has more than 10K IREN shares? I do not. I'm close, but I'm not there. Yuri says, IREN's up 30x from 102 low on December 30th, 2022. Catching MicroStrategy on best return since bottom of the bear market. Will be number one soon. I can see that happening as well, yeah. Let's see. Adam T is sitting around the campfire listening. Oh, I'd love to be around a campfire right now. That is one thing that I enjoy doing sometimes on the weekends. I'll just have a little fire pit going outside my house. I love doing that. It's just relaxing, right? And if you have a nice adult beverage as well, it's double relaxing. Not Pedro Pascal. I'm out of my Mara holdings today, moving back into more IREN, okay? Victor C asks question, which one could get a AI deal first, Cleanspark or Cypher? Thanks. From what we know, at least right now, based on the information available to us, I would say Cypher. But you just never know. Based on what we have right now, information-wise, I would say Cypher. Daryl, let's see. Daryl's got 16,000 of IREN, up 330%. Way to go, Daryl. Man, that's awesome. Think about selling half and buying more Hive and Riot. Okay. That's definitely your call. My only holdout on Hive is that they don't have any operations in the United States. I don't know if that's going to lead to lackluster performance in the stock because of that. I don't know. But that's my only reserve on Hive. Okay, XVEX says, interested how data center companies compare to Bitcoin miners. Are we the cream of the top or top 100 at best, excluding politics and connections? I think we might be like the cream of the top of the crop there, based on the amount of megawatts that they have available. A lot of these other sites have smaller sites, less than 100 megawatts, even some that are less than 500 or 50 megawatts, and some that are even less than 10 megawatts there. Okay, Sarman says, question, talk about ABTC's 8 billion market cap. So is it really 8 billion? If it is 8 billion, then that stock is way overpriced. For the amount that they are generating right now, we also don't have any details as far as what their cost is to mine with Hut 8. So for that, I would say, yeah, I would stay away from that one for the time being if it's 8 billion. Rob B. K said, what are your thoughts on CORZ moving forward? It'll depend on the shareholders. So will the shareholders nix the deal with CoreWeave because the stock obviously on CoreWeave has come down tremendously, and that might be the case if they have the voting power to do it. I don't know if they do, but if I was a shareholder right now, I'd be voting against it. Right? This is definitely not what we signed up for, or at least not what you might have signed up for. The stock has definitely taken a beating because of, well, the CoreWeave stock has taken a beating because of people being allowed to sell shares now. Right? The lockup period is done for. And they do have a lot of debt as well. So I would vote against it. That's just me. But we'll see how it gets voted through, or if it does get voted through, or do they renegotiate it as well? So there's a couple ways it could go. Let's see, talked about that one already. All right. Not Peter Pascal. Are you surprised on the market's reaction to the Microsoft Nibius deal today? Thank you for your brain wattage. You're very welcome. And I mean, it's just we're seeing more and more of these stories happening there. Right? We saw TeraWolf getting a deal with Google and FluidStack. And it's just one more thing that's kind of, okay, yeah, now you got Microsoft making a deal with somebody. So these megawatts are being basically gobbled up as quickly as fast as they can, it looks like, after they do a bunch of due diligence on these guys. So it's just they're being repriced. As you're seeing more and more, people are becoming or starting to believe that these things are going to go up even higher because megawatts are needed. So I'm not really surprised, but I'm surprised by how much the miners are going up on it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. Chris Cox, Bitfarms went up because the execs and CEO bought shares. Yeah, they bought shares, but that wasn't the main reason for it. That would not have pumped the stock up 24% there. Yes, the executives, thank you for reminding me that, because they did buy. Ben Gagnon bought. I'm not sure who else bought there, but I know that they were buying here. It's not enough to pump the stock 24%. They bought in the past as well, and the stock actually went down at that point as well. So that is not, I don't believe that's the reason for it. All right. Mr. X, question. Cleanspark is one of the top miners. Can we hope that they can get an AI deal with a big name tech company like Meta, Amazon, or Google? They do have, two nice locations next to Atlanta, Georgia, large metropolitan area. There is a possibility there. I'm not saying it's going to happen there, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Would it be nice for them to get something? Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, Rob B. Hey, Seb, what are your thoughts on CORZ moving forward? I'm thinking of taking my gains and buying more IREN and Cypher. Also, I jumped into Cypher last month based on your comments. Thanks. Okay, nice. Yeah, like I told you guys, I sold a portion of my Cleanspark and IREN shares to buy into Cypher as well at that point. That has worked out pretty good. I've also sold Mara and Rivian to buy more Cypher and Bitfarms there as well. I did that in the last 2 weeks or so. As far as what are my thoughts on it, I mean, from where we are right now, right, what's the stock going to go up? Maybe to $5 more from where it's at right now. Could some of the other miners like IREN, Cypher, maybe even Bitfarms there or others have better potential going forward? I think so, because I think what the possibility is for Core with CoreWeave buying them out. What that might be, what, $19, $20 at most, unless they really do renegotiate things and it goes up to $25. So you're still kind of limited on the upside end Core, I think. But that's your call there. All right. Gary, why do you think we are having less people post they are taking their IREN profits and moving them to HODL miners? We haven't had any tonight, but has been most popular post for the last 5 months. With people going into HODL miners, I wouldn't do that. But, I mean, some people have had nice profits, nice gains on IREN. You can take definitely profits at that point, lock them in and put it into something else, but what are you going to put it into? That's a big question. I would probably put it into Cypher or something like that, or maybe a little bit of Bitfarms, things like that that have potential. I think you're better off just holding on to IREN right now as it is. Daryl, question. Seb, do you have an email address? I do have an email address. Check out my YouTube About Me page. There is an email link there, so you should be able to find it there. Okay. Is Bitfarms still tapping the ATM? Based on my understanding from what they stated at their quarterly results is that they are not looking to tap the ATM. They are able to fund their operations through their Bitcoin mining right now as it is, and they don't have any capital expenditures here going forward into the end of the year. So I don't think that they are. Maybe they are a little bit, but I don't think they are. All right. Gary, has anyone checked if Rex sold all his Cleanspark and bought Cypher before Cypher ran today? I doubt that he did that, especially since he is now working for Cleanspark as their chief financial analyst or officer or something like that. I can't remember what the title was there, but something like that. So he's working for Cleanspark there now. So we probably won't hear much from Rex anytime soon, I don't think. All right. Victor asks, question, if you had to choose only 2 miners at current prices, which one? And thanks. Oh my gosh. I think, based on what we saw today with Bitfarms and the price action there, I would say maybe Bitfarms. Right, they do have some sites in Pennsylvania that are close to a large metropolitan area. I would also, based on that, I will look into, Cypher, IREN, those guys get an HPCI deal. Those stocks are going to pump as well. It's hard to pick right now. These guys have been running up here quite nicely here, but I do think like Cleanspark, even I would say if Cleanspark's really ambitious into getting to HPCI, that thing might pump it there. So I would say maybe Cleanspark and Bitfarms at that point. That's kind of where my head would go. All right. Let's see, Stefan, Mara performing slower than other miners. Why do you think that is? No HPCI right now, right? They're going in a kind of different direction here. They have a MicroStrategy type mentality of holding Bitcoin. Do you think their BTC holdings has been priced in? It's basically the only thing that's pricing them on the market cap right now as it is. I think the miners that do have a HODL position, they're not getting any premium on that right now as it is from investors. And Mara, in order to HODL everything with their costs of mining still relatively high, they have to use the ATM. And, investors are not happy with that maybe. And that's the reason why the stock hasn't done that great. Those are the only things I can think of right now. Their operations have been also kind of up and down all over the place. All right, Gary, question. Cleanspark can go for a deal in 2027, takes time. I don't know if it's going to be 2027. They do have the sites. They are energized. It's just a matter of converting those into HPCI. Right, so how long would it take them to do that? Would it take them 6 months to do that and convert it over and get something up and running? I think it's possible, especially if you go with the liquid cooling. At that point, all you really need is internet connection, right? So you need a fiber going to it, hopefully redundant. And you also need the liquid cooling chillers for the setup. So, that's going to take some time to build that out. And possibly backup generators as well. But that can all be done within 6 to 9 months. So I wouldn't say 2027. We're not too far away from 2027 as it is right now. We're only, a year and a half out, less than that as it is. Excuse me. So we're not too far. All right. When do you think IREN will announce new Oklahoma site? Why Oklahoma? Right. The population is not as dense in some other areas. I think a better option would be to go into these more dense populated areas, potentially, especially if you're looking to get an HPC deal with a hyperscaler there, because that's where a lot of that need is going to be. All right. Let's see. Perfecte. Current top 3 miners as far as operations are concerned. It's IREN, Cleanspark. Who else is in there as well? It's doing really well right now as far as operational wise. Hive in there. Cypher, I would say after Hive at that point. Meat Force question. IREN and Cypher, clearly the 2 alphas of the cycle, but who runs more from here? My money's on Cypher. That's hard to tell, right? We're one good news story away from any of these guys pumping even harder. So that's really hard to tell. That's going to be from here. IREN has definitely ran nicely there. You also have to think about it that Cypher has a lot more shares outstanding than IREN does. So take that into consideration there as well. But I own both IREN and Cypher because I just don't know who's going to run even better. All right. Roger, question. Is 2026 bullish or bearish? Bad news is coming out for jobs and inflation is sticky. Inflation is sticky because of the tariffs, right? But I think as the months go by and the tariffs, as long as the tariffs stay the same and they don't increase them going forward, that's going to basically work itself out, right? So I think the term would be transitory on it. And the good news is rate cuts are going to be happening here in September, possibly in October and December there. if we do get 3 rate cuts here in the year, that's going to be pumping, obviously, jobs. It should help with the jobs. It should help with the economy. It should help housing. It should help, all other things after that. So housing is a big part of this. And I think that will be a good thing as well. All right. Dozotza? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there. People should know that stock isn't a company and a company isn't a stock, so saying buy the Cleanspark fundamentals are just on point. Okay? Daryl, question, would you rather buy Bitfarms or Hive right now? Probably, to be honest with you guys, I would say Bitfarms because they do have operations in the United States. And they do have some potential there in their Pennsylvania sites. So for that reason, I would say maybe Bitfarms. Hive, obviously getting to 25 exahash later on this year is fantastic. I love seeing that. The only thing is, again, one of my concerns is they don't have any operations in the United States. And I don't know if that's going to be, a detriment to them. But I could be wrong on that. All right, Meat Force question, is that Ultra Giga Mega Riot bull still here who used to just spam Riot still? She'll post in the chat. Can't remember his name. Are you thinking of Chris? I think Chris was once Riot, then he moved to Cleanspark. Then I think we went back to, I haven't seen Chris in a while. Hope Chris is okay. Okay, Andre says, ABTC is not an 8 billion market cap. It's 1.64. Okay, see, that's the problem with ABTC right now is I don't know where that valuation is. How many shares they have outstanding, it's just all up in the air right now. We don't know. And I need to know those figures to really see how they are doing. So it might take us a little while to see how they are being priced, fairly or not fairly. All right. Inday asks, is there a chance for Cleanspark to higher? I'm stuck with Cleanspark. I think there is a chance for it to go higher. We need a good catalyst, not only from Bitcoin going up, but we also need them to provide some details on HPCI ambitions going forward. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. That would pump it. All right, Victor. Let's see. If the CPI comes in higher, will the markets have a minor sell-off? All right, CPI, so that would be for the inflation part of it. How much higher? If it's not that much higher, right, we have the analyst estimates of whatever they are estimating to be. If it comes in a little bit higher than that, maybe, depending on how high we go. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one, though. All right. Freddie, do you think IREN would shoot to $50 immediately after a deal? What percentage likelihood do you think a deal will happen before the end of 2025? For a deal right now, it's 50-50. I mean, we really don't know. Unfortunately, we're not a fly on the wall at some of those meetings. I'd love to be a fly on the wall there, just to hear what's going on there. But we don't know. So I would say 50-50 right now for the end of this year that we might get a deal. Mike Alfred is obviously very bullish on IREN and Cypher there. So maybe there is something going to be happening here. But I'm in it nonetheless, whether they do get it or not. And as far as would it shoot up to $50, I mean, it's at $30 right now as it is. I mean, we could see it pump 40-50% on the news. So at that point, we're looking at $45 roughly. So it would be close to $50 if that does happen there. See, Neville says Rex is most definitely not the chief financial. No, he's not the chief. He's the, what is it, the investment off? He's something, I can't remember the title there, but he's something there. Okay, sorry, Andre, it's 8.6 billion there. 8K confirms it, and Asher even stated the IPO just over 5 billion. Okay, yeah, if it's at that high, then that is way too high. At Perfecte, what are the reasons for Bitfarms move today? The main reason I believe it's because Nibius came out with a deal with Microsoft that pumped a lot of these guys here. Bitfarms has a site in Pennsylvania that's pretty close to New York and Newark, which has a large metropolitan area. I think that's maybe why the stock is pumped there for the potential there. And they also, Ben also in company, some of the guys there bought shares of Bitfarms there as well. So they have faith that the stock is going to, possibly hold it at least there. They have conviction that the stock is undervalued. Neville says, good night, Seb. Everyone, please make sure to give a man a like. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great night, Neville. Thanks for coming in, as always. Seb, check ABTC's 8K from last week. They have 908 million shares and a 2.1 ATM. But didn't they do a reverse split on the deal? Wasn't it like 5-for-1 or something like that? I got to look into it. I'm not going to speculate there because there's information all over the place on that one. Let's see. Sarah says Tom looked at the filings and also confirms these stats. Okay. Xvexed. What percentage of your portfolio are you planning on letting ride in case of an extended cycle as versus a 4-year cycle? Right now would be like 100%. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna keep an eye on what's going on here. We got the rate cuts coming in here as well. That should be good for risk on assets, which these guys are. I could be wrong on that, but even if we go down, 25-30% from here, I'll still be in good profits at that point, and maybe at that point I would sell if we go down that much on it. But I'm willing to let it run for at least now. Things might change in the next couple weeks, couple months. Things might change at that point when we see more data on where the economy is and everything else. All right. Okay, Roger says usually rate cuts trigger huge sell-offs. Depending on which sector and things like that. I wouldn't say it's always been a huge sell-off. Gary says IREN has been positioning jobs very recently in Oklahoma, or posting jobs in Oklahoma, indicating next center is going there. And Franz Baker has found a site in Oklahoma he believes they own, although IREN announces things slower. I mean, maybe, but why would you go to Oklahoma? Oklahoma, I mean, what's in Oklahoma there? Oklahoma is kind of, you got Kansas, you got Arkansas, Missouri next to Louisiana, New Mexico, Colorado. I mean, maybe. It could be also, right, what if IREN just goes at it alone, right? Then it doesn't really matter where they have sites. They could just continue to buy GPUs, plug them in, and have customers eat them up. So they could go at it that way. But if you're looking to get somebody that's hyperscaler, I think you want to be probably close to some of these big metropolitan areas. I think that gives you a little bit more of a oomph, maybe. Could be wrong, but we'll see. All right. Okay, Perfecte. What is your top 5 miners that you're holding by order and percentage? Percentage off the top of my head, I don't know. IREN is my biggest one, then it's Cleanspark, then Cypher, and then Bitfarms. Those are the only ones that I own right now, right? Yeah, Cleanspark, IREN, Bitfarms, and Cypher. Those are the only 4 that I own right now. And it would be in the order. It would be IREN, Cleanspark, Cypher, and Bitfarms in that order. IREN is a big percentage of it. It's right now probably over 50% of my portfolio. Cleanspark would be like right around 25% to 30%. Cypher would be around 20%. And then Bitfarms would be at the lower end on those things. Gary says, I heard ABTC is $8 billion as well. Okay, then yeah, it's definitely way overpriced. Sarah says 100% it's $8 billion. Okay. Daryl, great show again. Seb, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in, Daryl. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. What's your price target for Cleanspark by end of year? $20, I would think, is where we would go, minimum. Roger, reminder, Cleanspark was $18 last this time when Trump won. Let that sink in. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen a shift in HPCI being the bigger gainer there. D-Reg, Seb, have you heard the Simply Wall Street article? 6 members of the Simply Wall Street community provided fair value estimates for Riot, ranging from 1179 to 200. What? Within a year? Thoughts? Okay, that seems a little outlandish there. But if they get an HPCI deal or something like that, then maybe. Sadie, thank you. Sebastian, thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate you. Gary, pal, 8.6 billion. Wow, IREN held top market cap for a week before being passed. Yeah, with a company that has 20 some odd exahash, no infrastructure, they do have a hodl position, and yeah, make it make sense, right? Is it the Trump boys that are the reason for the pump? Possibly, more than likely, but yeah, normally they shouldn't be valued at that high. Sarah says, Seb, the filing states 908 million shares is after the share conversion. Okay, that still seems like a lot of shares or to do a basically merger. Something doesn't smell right to me. And them being valued at $8 billion on what they have. What do they have? ASICs. It's the same thing as Kango. Kango has ASICs, no infrastructure, right? They have 50 exahash, and they're valued at what? So make it make sense there. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, Michael, what is making IREN run up that doesn't have a PE of no kind? what is making IREN run up? IREN's running up on their own HPC AI cloud that they're building out, and also the HPC potential that they have there. Plus, their Bitcoin mining is very profitable for them. That's fueling and growing. It's kind of like a flywheel, I guess you could say, where that revenue generated there is going into building out HPC AI. Okay, YKY says Rex saw a better opportunity to get company compensation than owning the stock. He's been definitely a big fan of the company there. I wish him all the best there. Congrats on to him getting it. So if he can do it, that's awesome. And he can get shares for free through share-based compensation, all that stuff. So double win there. Let's see here. XVEX, thanks for answering my questions. Have a good night. Thank you for coming in. And yeah, no problem. Gary says, depends on transit line. Oklahoma near Texas border is my guess. Okay, could be. Not Pedro Pascal. I think once we see big sell-offs from the Mag 7, then potentially these mining companies could get hit. Yeah, I mean, if they report that they're seeing a slow down in HPC demand or AI demand in general, then yeah. But I mean, the more I use AI, the more I love it and the more I enjoy using it. So I think the demand is going to continue to grow as word spreads here. So I don't see that stopping anytime soon. All right. Let's see. Steven says, I bought in Riot about a week ago. I wanted Sebastian to sell Cleanspark and buy Cypher. I did sell a portion of my Cleanspark and bought Cypher, if you recall. But this is going back now probably 3-4 weeks or so, something like that. So I have at times, moved positions around to position myself in a little bit better spot. And it has worked out so far. Okay. I am all cut up to all the questions here, looks like. Maybe not. Let me see. We got Kron. Did Riot sold all Bitfarms? That I don't know. They're under 5%, so they don't have to report anymore what their position is in the company. Would hope that they would be all out, and maybe that's why the stock also ran nicely today, right? No selling pressure on it for once, maybe. All right. As says, if you look at Riot versus most other miners, it looks like it has further to go than most other miners versus Bitcoin, in my opinion. Just go Riot, BTC, USD, and TradingView. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody has a crystal ball. We'll see where things go. I mean, we're looking at just what the potential possibly is there. Riot does have potential. No doubt about it. We'll just have to see how they go. Gary says, Oracle has huge numbers tonight on AI, huge projections, way higher than Wall Street expected. Yes, that is what we're seeing. Also, the miners pumping up here in the after hours as well. Where are they at right now? Let's see here. Cypher right now in after hours is up 4.66%. And then we got, let's see, Cleanspark, we'll take a look at them. They're up 4.41%. Core up 1.72%. Hive Digital up another 3%. Hut 8 is actually down 0.58%. IREN right now is up, where is it at? Ooh, the thing is all over the place. Okay, 4.11%. Riot is up a little bit, 0.72%, and TeraWolf is up, actually the best out of all these guys up. It's up 5.73%. So it's going to be possibly another really good day for us tomorrow, which is really nice because I love watching my portfolio grow. I'm sure you guys do as well. All right, let's see if we got any more questions here. We got one more. It looks like maybe we'll call it a day here. We're going on already over an hour as it is. Let me see here. Where am I at? Okay. What made Riot go up so much today? Made everybody go up here was the Nibius deal with Microsoft that came out yesterday. That's the reason why everything was going up. Let's see. Steven says Riot is breaking out because it has HPC. Yeah, well, them and everybody else is breaking out because of that. Pawnet, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Love your content, man. Is miners pumping up, signaling a long-awaited bull run? Potentially, but Bitcoin's not going up, so they're going more on their HPCI potential there than anything else, but also could be a signal that rate cuts are going to be happening here. Bitcoin is going to possibly fly at that point as well. So the stars are aligning for us. This is what we've been waiting for. It's been a long journey. We've had many of sessions where we had the Bitcoin miner support group in place to kind of help people vent and also kind of lift up their spirits maybe a little bit. So if you've been in it as long as I have, it has been easy, but it's nice to see things pumping up right now. Let's see here. Prod FT Projections on where IREN is heading price-wise. Have you taken anything off the table at these prices? I've not. I'm still holding on to it. I was thinking about selling a portion before the earnings came out, but then I was looking into them more and just reading more about them and listening to others about them, and I got even more bullish. I'm like, no, this thing's going to go up even higher from where it's at right now. So I did not take anything off the table. I did leave it as it is right now, and I'm probably going to leave things as they are right now as it is going forward here. Stephen, good night as well. Thanks for coming in here. S has been waiting 2+ years for this mania, I guess. All right. And then Epiphrace asks, what is your average price for, or what's my average cost for IREN? It's $8. $8. It's like $8 or one, something like that. It's low. It's low $8 on that one. But I've been dollar cost averaging into it as the price was going up as well. So that's part of why it's gone up on me. But I do have a nice chunk of change there for it, and happy to see that the thing is pumping nicely. It definitely makes it all worthwhile for all the hodl that we've been waiting all this time. D-Rag, Seb, would you ever buy Riot, and when is a good time to buy? That I don't know when is a good time. Would I ever buy Riot? The only reason I have not bought Riot historically is their poor operations. The management compensation there has been ridiculous. I'm not a big fan of that also. So I can give you all those reasons why. Yeah, I mean, there's just been operational wise, they haven't done that well. So if they haven't done well operationally in Bitcoin mining, will that translate into HPCI? That is a question that I don't know. Maybe they do better in HPCI than they have done in Bitcoin mining. But it's those two things. Huge operations have not been great, and the compensation for the C-suite there has been outrageous. Not a big fan of that. So that's the reasons why. Okay. Andrea, thank you, Seb. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in. S says, thanks, Seb. Proud FT. Thanks, Seb. Okay. Net Pedro, I wish I got in earlier. You can always rewatch it if you like at that point. D-Reg says, you're the best. I appreciate all the kind comments there. Greatly appreciate it. You know, it hasn't been easy. You guys that have been with me for a long time over the last 3-4 years or so. It's been a rough ride. And we're finally starting to make some decent gains on it, which is really great to see. But yeah, we'll call it a day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll cover anything else that happens. I'll add some more sites to my map there. We'll go over those possibly. We'll look at anything else that we have as far as miner news and maybe miner metrics as well. We're still waiting on BitTF to report their operational update for them, and then we'll have everybody there. Okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Have a great night. And tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. We're getting through it. It's going to be a good week for us here, hopefully. And fingers crossed. I'm not going to jinx it now that we're going to go down or something like that. But it's been a great week. I will see you guys tomorrow.